Alright guys, we are going to do this nice fun little monkey tutorial. We are going to be using Adobe Illustrator, and this is just to get us accustomed to shapes and some really basic layouts, just so you're kind of familiar, and we're going to get kind of a nice little monkey out of the deal. So the first thing that you are going to need to do is go File, New. We are going to be just working with a very basic format. We're just going to be working with the letter. The default size is 8.5 by 11. And I am just working with a landscape orientation at this point in time. If you want to click on the advanced little tab, I am working with CMYK. I would have the 300 selected, but this is pretty much typically default. If it was on RGB, really no harm would come of it. So at this point in time, we can kind of get going with it. So things that I would have selected, I would always have your smart guides up. And then you could also have your snap to point selected as well. So just double check this. You're going to see little green flash things flying across my screen. And that's what those are. So whenever you see center or guides or all your anchor points, you're going to definitely want to see your smart guides. Okay. So before we get started, let's just go to a nice little black. And I've got all my little menus over here. Typically, they're kind of hanging out on the side. If you want to have your workspace look like the essentials, that'll pretty much work it. So this is what all of these are. I do like having them kind of pulled out just so you can actually see what they actually are. Some of the times you'll just have a little tab, and it's hard to tell what all your little menus are. So that'll definitely help out. All right, we are going to be using a ton of circles. So what I want you to do is that little pull out. Notice that if I hang out over here, there's this nice little arrow. And that's going to pull out our tab. So I want this nice little menu over here. And we'll be ready to go. So I've got a circle. I have black. And then I have no stroke. Alright, so you're going to see all these little green lines flying everywhere. So what I am looking for is the center. I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt. Shift Option. And what that will do is get a perfect circle out from the center. Next, I'm going to come over. I'm going to hover over this anchor point. I'm going to do some big ears like this other guy. And I want another nice big old circle. I'm going to hold down basically I'm going to click V. Now I've got a nice black arrow. Hold down your Option. Notice that little white. So now I can copy this over. Notice all these nice little smart guides. Boom. There we go. I'm holding down Shift, black arrow, click, click, click. And I'm going to come over to our Pathfinder. There he is, Pathfinder. And I'm going to go to Shape Mode. And I'm going to click on Unite. Boom. You've got our head shape already. Look how easy that was. Alright. Click on V. That is my black arrow. I'm just going to deselect so nothing is selected. And I'm going to come over and just have a nice white to start off with. Okay, now I've got my circle shape. Same thing again. Okay. Click V, black arrow. Okay, I'm holding down the Option, Alt Option. Let's go right there. Okay. Now you're going to notice that depending on how big this peak is, and how far away each one of those are, that's going to kind of determine kind of that widow's peak. So if you wanted to shrink up these circles, get rid of that one. Just so you can kind of see what it's going to do. Okay, same thing. I'm holding down Alt. So if I really wanted to get these all the way over, then I would have more of a widow's peak. Let's just click on the Unite. Click, click. So all I'm doing, black arrow. Let's go to Align and let's get those nice and centered. Oh, beautiful. White arrow. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. I am not holding down Shift. And I'm just dragging that down. Okay, black arrow. I'm just clicking on everything. Shift, 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 and I want this nice and centered. Okay. Now the only little thing you could be doing, you guys can totally play around with this, is how much of a cheek. So if I'm looking over here, how much of that curve do I want? Okay. Other little thing that you can be paying attention to is this bottom gap. Okay, since we did not hold down this bottom, or this black circle was actually perfect. That's where we held down shift as well as our alt option. And this little cheek shape we totally didn't. So other little things you could do, white arrow, and I could drop that down a bit. So if I wanted this to be a little bit more even, I could do that. Okay, hey, looks pretty good. Okay, click V, black arrow. I want to go shift, shift, shift. I want all my face ones selected, and I'm going to come back over, and again, I want, nope, totally wrong one. I want Pathfinder, and I want our Unite. Okay, we got a monkey face. Okay, so I've got my initial skin color. Now we can start to do the ears. Okay, hold down shift. I'm holding it down shift and the alt. Okay. Now we're going to get a little fun right now. If you want to have the pen tool, you want to do a little pull out right there. I want the add anchor point tool, so that just the pen tool with the plus. And we're doing the little tuft of hair. So you can go click, click, okay, just along that path. Come over to the A. So I select A, white arrow, and I want to just drag that in. Nice and simple. Click V, black arrow, I'm just pulling that in. Okay, and all I'm looking for at this point, so just want to see if this gap, these gaps are fairly even. They don't have to be perfect, by the way. I'd rather them not be perfect. If you really wanted to get crazy, you could come back in with the white arrow and be modifying all of your handles and all of these little the curves. But for the sake of argument, we're going to stay with the black arrow. Nice and selected. I'm holding down Option Alts, and then I'm just going to drag over. Beautiful. I'm going to right click. Let's do transform. Let's reflect. I'm doing that on a vertical axis, and I'm just going to click OK. Okay. I just wanted to double check my alignment, vertically distribute center. So I just wanted to double check that those are in fact centered. Looking good. Okay. Now let's start getting into all of the fun of the face. Just deselect. We're going to go back to black. Okay. I want center. I'm just holding down shift as well as my alt option. Nice black little circle. Click your V key. Black arrow. I'm just going to drag up so I get a nice little oval. Okay, looking good. Come back to the circle. I am holding down my shift as well as the option again. I want that to be black. Next, we're going to do our nice little highlight. Change that over to white. I'm just going to use my arrow keys. I want this upper left. And you could really play around with that size. So if you think that's too big, if I want to shrink that up a bit, I am holding down the shift key to keep that nice and perfectly proportionate. Okay, looking good. Shift, shift. I'm going to hold my option. Okay, we have a monkey. All right, let's do the eyebrows. Eyebrows are actually pretty simple, and it's going to get us kind of accustomed to using the warp tool. So all I'm drawing is a nice oval. I was not holding down shift. I was not holding down alt or option. I'm going to come up to the top, effect, warp, and I'm looking to arc. I'm just going to zero all these out before we click preview. Okay, I'm going to click on preview. And what we are looking to do is get a nice little arc to it. And I want to pull those over towards the middle. So that's pretty extreme. You can really play around with how archy you want it. So in this example, not that archy. Looks pretty good. I'm going to hit OK. Next thing I'm going to do is go to Objects. I'm going to expand. So now I have the outside and those shapes nice and tight. Click on V. I don't want his to have ginormous eyebrows. I want him to be still fairly cute. I just wanted to kind of focus on that shape. Get the two little arrows so we can rotate. Looks good. I'm holding down Alt again. Copy that shape. Transform, and I am going to reflect again. Preview. As long as that's on the vertical axis, you are good to go. Okay. You could probably do a little more with the rotate, depending on how shocked you want them. Now keep in mind, if they're not perfect, or if you want them to be perfect, you could just delete it and bring it back over. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's go into the mouth. Mouth, I want a deselect, cancel. I just want a black circle. Just want all these nice and centered, by the way. I am selecting it. Let's bring that up to the top. I'm going to come in and let's see if we can do warp. Arc lower. Let's see what that does. Let's play around with this. I'm going to go preview. Nope. Let's try arc. Okay. So you can really play around with this. This is just me getting picky at this point. It's a little much. Now what I'm looking for is I'm going to shrink this back down. I'm kind of looking just at that top part. I'm going to hit OK. Come back, Object Expand. I'm using the black arrow, keep in mind. I'm holding down Shift and Option. Okay. Now let's just have some fun with the white arrow. So depending on if I want it to be really pulled over, you know, how upset do I want this guy to be? I could totally be pulling over each one of these points. So what I'm looking for is kind of this top. Okay, I'm just pulling these handles, by the way. Coming over here, I'm just pulling down on this one so I can kind of get a shocked looking mouth. I'm going to come over with V. You can kind of rotate this up so you can have a little fun with this. If it doesn't match up perfectly to this one, not a big deal. Now I'm just using the black arrow to just kind of modify it up. I'm going to just shrink up the mouth a bit, just so it's still kind of keeping within those eyeball shapes. Okay? The smaller the mouth, the cuter it'll be. So the bigger this thing gets, the less cute he will look. But for sake of argument, I like it. Let's keep it there. All right, next, circle. We're going to start working on that inside of the mouth. Okay, I just drew a circle. I'm going to come back to my black arrow. Okay, get ready. Command C, Command F. All I did right there, Command C, copy. Command F is paste in front. So there's actually two of my mouth shapes happening right now. Got my mouth shape selected. The circle part selected. Come to Pathfinder and minus front. Okay. So let's do our nice little pink. Beautiful. So I have my nice little cheek shapes. Okay. We're going to have some more fun. Pink. I'm going to come up to the top. Effect, warp. I'm going to bulge this one. I'm going to zero these out. It's basically going to be that vertical one, this one right down here that we're going to be looking at. I want it to be more teardroppy. So you're going to kind of see how it's starting to taper in. I'm going to hit OK. Object expand. Looking good. Okay, now before we get anything crazy, I'm going to come back over here. Notice that my whole mouth is selected. Command C, Command F. Hold down Shift. So I've got my new shape and my little, it's called something, medulla. Okay. Notice that it is nice and cut out. Take that back. I wanted to do intersect. Intersect. There we go. I clicked minus front, so I want you guys to intersect, and I'll just clean up that top. So a lot of work to basically get that edge nice and clean. That was it. Okay. Now, everything looks pretty good. The only last thing that we have over here is our nice little shadows. So let's do that. Okay. Get ready for it. Command C, Command F. I just copied the whites. I'm holding Shift. I have my new pink shape. I'm going to minus the front. Boop. Okay. So depending on what color you want. So let's say this one is the lighter one. I'm going to use my eyedropper. There's my initial. This one's going to be darker. So I've got a nice little color shape here. I'm holding my Option key. Again, transform, reflect. Hit OK. And I'm just going to use my arrow. Beautiful. Okay. Face. Let's just color that right now. Let's color our blacks. Shift, 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 shift. Oh, we are there. We are there, guys. Okay. So all we need is this nice little shape right here. So I've got my black arrow. Select the face. Command C, Command F. I have a nice new shape. And I'm going to come back with a nice circle. It kind of comes through the bottom. Now, if I want both, I'm going to have to kind of add some. So we're just going to kind of simplify this one for this demo here. But I could kind of come in and modify each one of these little shapes. So if I wanted more of a bend, I'm holding on the Option Alt key right there. And I just want that flying over. Man, this is me getting way too picky on you guys. I apologize. Okay, stop touching it. Okay, I have a shape. That's just so this isn't super perfect. I'm not too concerned. Keep in mind, on a lot of the other ones I was doing, it was just a nice little circle. So I have my face, shift, new shape. I'm going to minus front. Okay. Now I could come in and let's do transparency. That is already 75%. So if I don't want that to be super noticeable, I can just drop that down. Okay, so there's my transparency. We've got ourselves a monkey. Okay, last little thing. We're going to do some little tufts. Deselect. Okay, I'm going to switch these two. Click the little toggle. Nice little circle. I'm going to up the stroke. Just depends on how fat you want these guys to be. If you don't see the scissor tool, look for the eraser. Scissor. And I'm just going to click on that path. As long as you see path, you're good. Path, path, path. Okay, looking good. Go back to your black arrow. Click delete. They're going to get two nice little paths here. Click, click, click. I'm going to go shift, shift. Hold that down. I'm going to come over to where it will say stroke down at the bottom here. Look for the bunch of lines. And I'm looking for this little guy right here where it says rounded cap. So right now they're kind of like squared off edges. I want a nice round little edge. Our hair looks nice and cute now. Man, that is adorable. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Boom. Object, expand. Hit OK. I'm going to hold down Shift. And I do want, let's combine these two. Okay, before you guys freak out, arrange, send to back, and our monkey just came back. Okay, now while we won't have them all together, if I did want, you know, some sort of stroke on this at some point, let's say if you're putting it in on a nice little t-shirt, I could come in and add that onto it. Now for stroke, I'm going to put that on the outside. So then I'll have a nice stroke going around my border. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. Okay, so there you go. There's a nice little monkey tutorial for you. At this point in time, what I would be doing is going File, Save for Web and Devices, if you've never saved before, and then you can save it. I have this one. I totally don't want that. Clip to Artboard. Okay, so now there's just the one that we just did. Ping. If you guys are in class, there's your JPEG button, and you can turn it into Schoology so it does not invert your colors. You're just following along to us online. Wonderful, but you'll get your ping selections, your GIF, depending on what you are looking for it for. Keep in mind you can also click to Artboard, and that'll actually bring that back in if you guys are looking for it. So other than that, there is your monkey, guys. Make sure you guys follow along and look for more tutorials. Monkey face, I think this is my 8th monkey. Too many monkeys. File, save, but hopefully that helped out. We learned our direct selection tool. We used our black and white arrows. We used quite a bit of our shapes. We used our line tools, and we got a nice little monkey out of it.